Hello, hello. You're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut. Because #ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. I am excited to talk to you about the things I wish I knew before I made my career change, from being a lawyer to being a full-time entrepreneur. Now, when you're first starting out in any career change journey, it can feel a bit unnerving, the fact that you're going to move from something that's familiar into the unknown and you have no idea whether it's going to work out, whether it's the right decision, and you can worry about that. And sometimes that worry can lead some people to not even make any moves in the first place. So what I wanted to do is share with you 5 things I wish I had known earlier so that it can be supportive for you if you are considering making your journey or if you are on your journey right now. So the number one thing that I wish I had known before, or not just known, but fully believed before, is that it's okay to update your career vision. It's okay. It's fine. Many of us make decisions about where we're going to go in our career when we're quite young. So whether it is your child and someone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you say, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an astronaut. Or it might be when you are a teenager or you're in your early 20s and you're saying, okay, yes, this is the path that I want to go down. The issue I have with the fact that people make decisions at that stage and then stay on that path is that at that point of life, the likelihood is that you don't know yourself very well. You don't know yourself very well. So you're making a decision about your career path really based on external factors, what you've seen on TV, what people have told you, what you've understood about this particular industry or role, but you're not taking into account who you are as a person at your core, what your personality type is, what your values are, what your strengths are, what's important to you. And that is the reason why a lot of people can find themselves feeling burnt out, feeling unhappy, feeling stuck in their roles when they get to the point where they're in their 30s or their 40s, because they realize that there's a misalignment. There's a misalignment between who they are and what they really want to be doing on a day-to-day basis and the role that they have now or the career that they've carved out for themselves. So if I was to talk to my younger self, I would tell myself, like, you're making decisions now, but it's okay to update your vision. As you grow, as you learn more about yourself, as you understand the world more, you may decide that this isn't for you and you want to do something else. And that, my friend, is okay. That's the number one thing. The second thing that I wanted to share is that your belief around what is possible is the most important thing when it comes to determining whether you're going to be successful or not. There's a phrase that I learned at a young age that always rings in my mind, and it is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so if you are embarking on a journey and you're trying to make any kind of transition, or if you're trying to grow in any way and you don't really believe that it's possible for you, the likelihood is it's not going to be possible. And the reason why is because you're not going to follow through and do the things that are required in order for you to have the thing that you want. So your belief, so important. And the thing that's helped me most with harnessing those beliefs is to surround myself with people who have already achieved what it is that I want to achieve, and that cheerlead me and that support me in moving towards this new direction. Because the reality is, if you haven't arrived at your destination, you haven't done it before. You haven't done it before. This is new. Right? This is new territory. And so you have to have a level of belief and a level of faith that the steps that you're taking right now are going to lead you to where it is that you want to be. And even if you don't get to where it is that you want to be, the journey is worth it. The journey is worth it. The level of growth that you're going to experience, the lessons that you're going to learn, they are absolutely worth it. So that is the second thing. When I think about the fact that I have delivered a TEDx talk, that I have produced 250 episodes of this podcast, that I have spoken on stages all around the world, I'm like, if you would have said to me 5 years ago that's what I'd be able to achieve, I'd say, get out of here. I'd say, no way, not me. But I have been able to. And part of that is that I've believed that these things have been possible, right? As I've been going and as I've been growing and as I've been surrounding myself with the right people, my level of belief has shifted. Me back then would have said, no way. But me now is like, absolutely, bring on the next level. And I've had to do work to work on my beliefs. I've had to work with coaches. I've had to be in community. I've had to work on the beliefs that are required for me to be and get to where I want to be. The third is make sure that you are clear on the problem that you're solving. So when you are in a season of frustration and you know that you want to make some kind of move or some kind of change, do an audit. Do an audit to assess whether what you think is the issue is actually the issue. So often when I hear from clients and people who are looking to make a career change, they are frustrated because of something that's happening in their environment, but they haven't pinpointed the actual specifics of it. And so they end up wanting to throw the baby out with the bathwater and saying, I want to do something completely different. I need to change my career completely. Oftentimes it isn't a complete change that is needed. Sometimes it can be a shift or sometimes it can be a pivot, but the person hasn't taken the time to really assess what is the issue here. And so I encourage you to do an audit. What problem are you actually trying to solve? Is it your environment? Is it the exposure that you're getting? Is it the skills that you're having to use? Is it the people that you're working with? What is it that you want to change so that when you're doing your career transition plan, you can be targeted and you can be focused on the right things? And this is the type of stuff that we cover in my course, the Career Clarity Accelerator, to make sure that people are pulling the right levers, that they are focusing on the right things, and they're making the move by using the least amount of time, energy, and resource. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is community is key. Community is key. There is absolutely no way that I would still be in business and that I would be here today recording this video had it not been for the community that I've been able to cultivate and be a part of along my journey. The friends that I've made, the business besties that I've found, the communities that I've been part of, the clients that I've worked with. Like, community is key. So if you're looking to make any kind of change, get yourself in community with people who are also on the same journey or who have been where you are, they're a little bit ahead, because that can really, really help you on the days where you feel like giving up, where you feel like throwing in the towel, where you're asking yourself, what in the world am I doing? Community. We need it. We absolutely need community. And then the last one that I feel like I wish I would have really fully appreciated before, you are not your job. When I transitioned from lawyer to entrepreneur, I think it was about a year into the journey, I had a full-on identity crisis. Like, I was like, I don't know who I am. I used to call myself a lawyer, and now as a business owner, you wear so many hats, right? So like, one minute you're a marketer, the next minute you're a salesperson, the next minute you are the talent who's delivering the coaching and the training and the speaking. The next minute you are in client delivery mode, you are supporting your clients, you are the ops person, figuring out the systems. Like, there's so much that goes into running your own business that I was just like, who am I? What is my role? Who do I identify as? If I'm not a lawyer, who am I? And it took me a while, not going to lie. It took me a while to just recalibrate. But the thing that helped me to do that was to take a step back and really appreciate that before I was meshing the two. Like, my role as a lawyer and me as a person were like this. And so when it came down to me shifting my identity, it was really, really hard. And so I had to realize that my identity was separate from me. And so I had to realize that my identity was separate from my role. My job and me, two separate things. And when I was able to do that, it was so, so helpful. And I wish I would have really fully appreciated that before, because maybe I wouldn't have placed so much weight and status on my role in the first place, but it would have been a lot easier to transition and just recognize that the work that you do does not impact in any way, shape, or form your value inherently as a person. It's like you're delivering value to the world in a different way, but you as a person, you are who you are. And so I would encourage you to really think about that. How attached are you to your job title when it comes to your identity? Or are you actually seeing it for what it is? And that is, it's a role, it's a job, it's a business. So those are my 5 top tips for you. I hope you have found those useful. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell below, subscribe to this channel where I'll be sharing more podcast episodes in the coming weeks and months and sharing with you ways that you can change your career for the better. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Until next time, look after yourself and keep moving towards your career goals. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there. Head over to lightbotscoaching.com/community and it will take you right to the group.